Okay, let's do this one more time. I would like to let the American citizens know that you are being made a complete ass of. And a lot of you don't realize it at all because you have been programmed since birth to believe and think that this is the way things are supposed to go and you're supposed to bow and obey your master, which is the 1% of the government. That's not how things are supposed to work, and it shouldn't work that way. In the Constitution, it says we the people. It doesn't say we the government or whatever. So I feel it bothers me, and I don't understand how 1% can pretty much control the 99% and tell them how to live and what they should and should not be doing. And I say this to say this: we have an election coming up, and the candidates are complete assholes. Not even assholes; they're just asses. And the whole thing with Donald Trump and all the bullshit he's spitting out his mouth and he's spitting out his mouth, but he's still leading in the polls for Republicans. Not to say that he's going to be president or not. Who cares? Whatever. Because I honestly believe and think that voting is a sham. Because guess what? We can vote, and we've done this before. And the popular vote doesn't mean a damn thing. So we as American citizens, we all can vote. And the person who gets the most vote don't win because of super delegates and all this other bullshit states. That's letting you know that your vote doesn't mean anything. When you vote in any situation, the most votes are supposed to win. Remember that? That is what's supposed to happen. Most votes are supposed to win. But no, they set it up to a point where they get what they want. And we go out here and fight and scream and bicker with each other over absolutely nothing when what's going to happen is what they want to happen. The stuff that Donald Trump says, and then people who agree with him, and they put it on these media outlets, and it's all propaganda, isn't it? It's all to keep us, uninformed, basically, of what's really going on. And the one thing about the internet that is very, very, very vital, and it's really good about the internet. That is information, and any information that you want or need, you can go and find it without it being, tainted or stepped on. You can get it at its purest form. But we as people choose not to do that. We still choose to listen to the news and watch media because we're lazy. We don't want to go and look and hear real information because the real information that you hear, you don't want to hear because it's not what you agree with. But what you fail to realize is that what you agree with it's not your thought, it's not your narrative, it's not what you yourself have come up with. It's something that was passed down to you from some other generation, another generation, another generation. And you're just repeating the same vicious cycle over and over and over and over again. You ever ask yourself why only two parties really matter when it comes to, presidential elections? Have you ever asked yourself that? It's either this or that. And yeah, there's other, you can be an independent, but how many times have independents ever won anything? Exactly. Remember in 2008 when Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were running? And all the shit that Hillary Clinton said about Barack Obama. Remember that? And look at them now. Her and Michelle sitting down together and this and that. It's a fucking TV show. It's a reality TV show. And we all are the consumers and we're watching this. And they just keep going. They just keep going. You think, I got this from a friend of mine. Zoe Williams, he said this. The biggest production in Hollywood isn't the movies that we're watching, it's our government. And he's telling the fucking truth. We as citizens, if we really want to change in our country or in the world, there is enough of us. Way more of us than it is of them to make change. But instead, we look to them for guidance, for what to do, what to think, and what to believe. And all they do is pit us against us. White America, you have more in common with minorities than you really would like to know. Because guess what you do? The same thing that we do on a regular basis. Get your ass up and you go to work to pay your bills and put food in your family's mouth. And most of us are living from paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. But in the news and in the media, they would like to make us think that we're different, or black people are doing this and we're so bad and we're so destructive, whatever. Are there bad black people in our race? Yes, it is. We also know there are bad white people in your race. In the Puerto Rican race, or the way you want to say Latino instead of breaking it down into sections, or there's bad people in every race. But the news and the media pits us against each other every chance they get, and that's to keep us separate. So we want to look at the real problem. Well, you gotta know that America is more of a corporation. We're really not a country. And it's the bottom line, it's about the dollar. That's all it's all about. And ask yourself, in any election, in any presidential race, or when presidents change and a new one come in, how much in your life is really, really affected when we have a different president? How many of you all, people do lose jobs, but people gonna lose jobs every year. There will be jobs lost. Call me a prophet, because I'm prophesizing this. As long as there's people on earth, people are going to lose jobs. That's what's going to happen. As long as there are people on earth, people are going to get jobs. So all this shit about where there's a job increase or people losing more jobs, of course. First off, you know how many people there is in the country? There is not enough jobs for everybody. There is not enough room in schools and money to go around for people to go. But let's just say everybody in the world in America got their shit together and say, guess what? I want to go to school. It's not enough room in the schools for everybody. You do realize that. So when you're talking shit about people, you need to get up, get a job, and this and that. You don't realize that there's not enough room for everybody to just get up and get a job or go to school. You do realize that, right? So when you're looking down on someone else and they're working at McDonald's or whatever, so let's just say people just stop working at McDonald's. Where do you get your fast food from then? All this shit is a big chain, and everyone plays their part. And once you break one link in the chain, the rest of the chain don't run as smoothly. So you talking about, we're gonna kick the Mexicans out the country. You gonna mow that motherfucking grass? You gonna put that roof on your house in 3 or 4 days or up to a week for less pay? You're not gonna do any of that. So about all let's kick the Mexicans out and this and that. And I'm not saying they get underpaid and this and that, but what I'm telling you, that this works because of us, the worker bees. And all the queen bees do is sit back and delegate. And they get all the fruits and the labor and all the resources of the world, or the earth, while we slave. And you think you're not slaving, but you are. You don't own your house. You can buy your house outright, but you still have to pay taxes on it. Why? This is your house. And if you don't pay your taxes, what happens? You don't own your car. Because if you don't renew your license plates every year, what happens? We don't own shit in America. Everything is for you to go into debt with the bankers. You know how much money you have to go into debt to become a doctor? And then you study paying this shit back? Do you realize that? So people that get out and talk shit about the people where you leasing a car, the best thing in the world you can do when it comes to automobiles is lease them. Because guess what? Let's say you lease a car for 3 years. The 3 years you're leasing that car, anything that goes wrong with that car, all you gotta do is take it back in and let them deal with it. You ain't gotta pay shit on that. But when you own your car, shit breaks down. Who's paying for that? It's the same thing with housing. You go out and buy all these fucking houses. Well, this is my house, this is my house. When something go wrong with the house, guess who's taking care of that? But if you're just renting a house, something goes wrong, or living in an apartment, something goes wrong, you have someone to take care of that, and you're not stuck with the bill of fixing it. We as citizens are living totally backwards in this world. And you ever seen the movie The Matrix? That shit is real. And you are participating in the Matrix. So my question to you, what would you think that would happen if no one voted? So instead of us watching this and getting all up in arms and arguing with each other, how about just no one votes? No one. And you know what's going to happen? The same thing that would happen if we did vote. I know there's some people out there, well, you black and you saying don't vote to die. Martin Luther King, yeah, they did die for the right to vote. And back then, I think y'all vote maybe meant a little more than it does now. So I'm not saying that they didn't. But what I'm telling you is voting is not what it's all cracked up to be. Because if the most popular vote doesn't win, what is that saying? At the end of the game, the score is 27-26, and the team that has 26 wins on the technicality doesn't seem quite right, does it? Okay.